Okay, so here is 31 through 40. Jose cut the corner off a large rectangular board. What remained is the shaded portion of the figure shown below. What is the area of the shaded portion? So we need the area of the rectangle minus the area of the unshaded portion, the triangle, and that will give us what's left of the shaded portion. So the area of the whole square, the formula is base times height. So that's 14 times 16, and 14 times 16 is 224. Then I need the area of the triangle over here, and I don't really know exactly what these are, but I know that from here to here is 6, and the whole thing is 16. So if I do 16 minus 6, then I know that this part is 10. Same thing here, from here to here is 6. The whole thing is 14, so 14 minus 6 is 8. So now the area of my triangle is base times height divided by 2. So that's 10 times 8 divided by 2, which is 80 divided by 2, which is 40. So 224 minus 40 is 184, and it's feet squared because we're talking about area. Number 32. What is the value of x in the following diagram? So if this is 50 and arc AB is 2x minus 70, this angle is a central angle. So the central angle and the arc are equal. So our formula is going to be 2x minus 70 equals 50. So we solve this by adding 70 to both sides. We get 2x equals 120. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 60. The volume of a rectangular prism is 480 cubic inches. If all dimensions are doubled to create a new prism, so doubled tells us a scale factor of 2. And again, if we're doing perimeter, the scale factor is 2. Area, it's 2 squared, or 4. Volume, it's 2 cubed, which is 8. So what will the new volume be? So we're going to take our original volume of 480 and multiply that times 2 cubed, because we're doing volume. And I meant to do 2 cubed, not 2 parentheses. So we're going to multiply that times 2 cubed, or times 8, and we get 3,840 inches cubed because it's volume. 34. What is the total surface area of the following cylinder? So the formula for surface area is 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. R equals 5, H equals 7. So the height is 7, radius is 5. So 2 pi times 5 times 7 plus 2 pi times 5 squared. And when we plug that into our calculator, we get 377 feet squared because it's area. A section of farmland is represented on an old map with the 4 corners located at coordinates 2, 5, 4, 7, 10, 2, and 4, 0. If each unit represents 1 mile, how many miles of fence will be needed to enclose the farmland? So this is going to require us using the distance formula several times. And my distance formula is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So basically we're just going to pick 2 points, subtract our x's and square it, subtract our y's and square it. So the first 2 points I'm going to pick are these 2 right here. So my formula is going to be, I'm going to take my 2 minus 4, because those are my 2 x's, squared, plus 5 minus 7, because those are my 2 y's, and I'm going to take the square root of that, and I'm going to get 2.83. Now I'm going to take this one and this point. So again, I'm going to take my first x, my x's, 4 minus 10 squared, plus my y's, 7 minus 2 squared. And when I plug that into the calculator, I get 7.81. Then I'm going to take my 10, 2 and my 4, 0. So I'm going to get 10 minus 4, because those are my x's, squared, plus my y's are 2 minus 0, squared. And when I plug that into my calculator, I get 6.32. And then lastly, I have to take this one and this one. So I take the square root of, square root of 2 minus 4. Since I use this 2 first, I have to use that 5 first, plus 5 minus 0 squared. And when I plug that in, I get 5.39. Now all I do is add these together. 2.83 plus 7.81 plus 6.32, and my total is 22.35, and we're looking for miles. 36. An aircraft takes off and climbs at a constant 40-degree angle until it reaches an altitude of 10 miles. At that point, the plane's horizontal. What is the plane's horizontal distance? So we're looking for this here. Here's my right angle. This is my opposite side because it's opposite theta. This is my adjacent side. So I'm going to use my trig function, TOA, that uses opposite and adjacent. So tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Theta is my angle, so 40 degrees. So tan 40 equals opposite is 10 over x. And again, if x is on bottom, we switch and divide. So we're going to switch the x and the tan 40. So I get x equals 10 divided by tan 40. Make sure your calculator is in degrees. That's hit mode and put it in degrees. And when we plug this into our calculator, we get x equals 11.92 miles. 37. Rectangle STUW is shown below. What is the length of ST? To solve this one, we're going to have to work several problems to figure out how to get this length, because I need to solve for this length of this right triangle, which I already have is 5, and I also need this length of this right triangle, and I can't get that until I get this length. But I can use this side to get that length. I can call that A. Here's a right triangle, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A I don't know, so that's a squared. B would be my 5 equals 8 squared. So a squared plus 25 equals 64. Subtract 25, and I get a squared equals 39. Take the square root of both sides, and a equals 6.24. So this side right here is 6.24. So is this, because it's a rectangle. So now I know two sides of this triangle, and I'm missing this side. So I can call this A, call this B, and here's my C. So again, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 6.24 squared plus b squared equals 20 squared. 6.24 squared is 38.94 plus b squared equals 400, which is 20 squared. If I subtract 38.94 from both sides, I get b squared equals 361.06. Take the square root of both sides. B equals 19. So this is 19. And if this is 5, then if I add those two together from here to here and from here to here, then I get this total distance for ST. So 19 plus 5 is 24. So ST is 24 inches. The main entrance to the Louvre Art Museum is shaped like a square pyramid. The pyramid is 12 feet tall, so my height is 12 feet. Has a slant height of approximately 13 feet. Each side of the square base measures 10 feet. What is the lateral surface area? So the lateral surface area, the formula is perimeter of the base times slant height divided by 2. So the perimeter of my base is 10 plus 10 plus 10 because it's a square pyramid, so all the sides are the same. So my perimeter is 40. My slant height is 13. So my area is 40 times 13 divided by 2, which is equal to 260 feet. And it's squared because it's area. In the spinner modeled below, sector 1 has twice the area of sector 3. If the area is spun once, what is the probability that the arrow will land in sector 1? So to find the probability, we're going to find the area of sector 1 over the portion of the whole thing. So part over whole. So if I have 90 degrees here and 90 degrees here, that's 180 degrees. The entire circle is 360. So 360 minus the 180 gives me another 180 degrees to go here and here. If this part is twice this part, I need to divide that into 3 parts. So that would be 60 degrees each part. So this part would be 60, and this would be double 60, which would be 120. So the 120 plus 60 gives me the 180 that's left. So sector 1 is 120 degrees, and the whole thing is 360. So if you divide 120 divided by 360, you get 0.333. Or if you want to change it to a percent, you get 33.3% because you multiply that times 100. 2 motorcycles start at the same point. We don't even need to pay attention to this because this should be 9 and this should be 40. One goes 9 kilometers due north, the other goes 40 kilometers due west. We want to know what the distance is between them. So this distance is 9, this is 40. So again, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where this is c. So 9 squared plus 40 squared equals c squared. 81 plus 1600 equals c squared. 1681 equals c squared. 16 plus 81. Take the square root of both sides, and you get that c is equal to 41, and my units are kilometers.